In February 1959, a group of hikers died in mysterious circumstances on the slopes of a then unnamed mountain. Now, one of the most famous mysteries of the 21st century. Are we any closer to understanding exactly what caused the Dyatlov Pass incident? The sun was beginning to set over the western rise as the two men crested the hill. A combination of exhaustion and the biting cold of the late Russian winter that slowed their progress to a crawl, but it had not dampened their determination. They plodded on through the deep snow with only one thing on their minds. They were students of the Ural Polytechnical Institute, and they were out searching for their friends who'd failed to return from a hiking trip 2 weeks prior. The dying light meant that they would soon have to call it today. They did not relish the prospect of finding their way back to camp in the dark, especially through such unforgiving terrain. But despite those dangers, they could not help but appreciate the allure of this wilderness had a calming, almost serene beauty, and they could only hope that it had been kind to their friends. Although their hearts remained resolute, after so many days searching, that hope was fading as quickly as the setting sun. Ahead of them, with the rising slopes of Kalaxia, translated from the Mansi word meaning dead mountain, so named by the local Mansi tribes, due to the fact that nothing ever grows there for this reason. The vision that greeted the two men in that late afternoon was an immense, perfectly smooth hillock, blanketed with pure white snow. And they would have turned back at that point, if not for the fact that something had caught their attention. In the midst of all that brilliant white, they could make out a singular, dark spot about halfway up the side of the mountain, sticking out like a sore thumb, completely at odds with its surroundings. It would take them another half an hour to reach, but as they got closer, they could make out the vague outline of a large tent. They knew immediately that it belonged to their missing friends, and upon inspection, they found that besides a large hole in the side canvas, everything else was in order. The sides of the tent had been insulated with coats and empty backpacks. Ski boots were lined up neatly near the entrance. Padded coats and blankets lined the floor, and elsewhere they found personal items stowed away, and a wood axe and saw. At the far end of the roughly 8 square meter shelter, the two rescuers breathed a sigh of relief as they noticed that there were no bodies. They cautiously celebrated as they permitted themselves to believe that their comrades were not dead, but they could not shake the feeling that something about the scene before them still seemed a little odd. They did not know it at the time,